Have you ever wondered why some people work their entire lives yet still struggle with money, while others live comfortably and enjoy complete financial freedom? Why does this difference exist? The answer to this question was discovered by a young boy named Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He grew up with two fathers, not by relation, but by mindset. One was his poor dad, his real father, and the other was his rich dad, the father of his best friend. Poor Dad was highly educated, full of degrees, and had a stable government job. His belief was simple: study well, get good grades, find a secure job, and life will be safe. But Rich Dad was a school dropout, yet a successful businessman. His thinking was the complete opposite. He said, "Don't learn to work for money, learn how to make money work for you." At just 9 years old, Robert couldn't understand which father was right. One was an educated man with a respectable job. The other was a businessman who hadn't even completed school. But slowly, the difference in their thinking became crystal clear to him. When Robert started working for Rich Dad, he earned only 10 cents per hour. Very little money. Because of this, he felt frustrated and angry. He felt he was being underpaid. Even his poor dad told him, "This is wrong. You're being taken advantage of." But Rich Dad calmly said, "I'm not trying to pay you less. I'm trying to teach you something. If I start giving you a salary, you'll be trapped in the same cycle the whole world is trapped in, the cycle of depending on a paycheck." One day, when Robert confronted him angrily, Rich Dad smiled and said, "Good. Now you're thinking. This anger will either make you complain like most people, or it will push you to learn and grow." Then Rich Dad gave Robert the most powerful line of the entire book. The poor and the middle class work for money. The rich make money work for them. Think about it. What do most people do? They work a job, they get a salary, their expenses increase. A new phone, a car EMI, a bigger house, loans, and then the same cycle repeats every month. This is what Rich Dad called the rat race. Running fast, working hard, but staying in the same place. One day, Rich Dad drew two columns using chalk, assets and liabilities. He asked Robert, "What do most families buy?" Robert said, "A house, a car, a TV, a fridge." Rich Dad immediately said, "These are liabilities. They take money out of your pocket. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. Think about it. A house takes money, EMI, repairs, maintenance. A car takes money, fuel, insurance, servicing. A phone takes money, upgrades, bills. But assets give money, rental property, stocks and dividends, businesses, royalties, digital products, investments." There is a beautiful example in the book. Robert and his friend Mike bought old comic books for a very cheap price and created a small comic book library in their basement. Other kids paid 10 cents to read for an hour. This was the first time Robert experienced money coming in without him working for it. This was his first practical lesson in asset building and the starting point of financial freedom. Rich Dad's next big lesson was financial education. Schools teach us math, history, science, but they never teach us how money actually works. No one teaches how to save taxes, how to invest, how to start a business, how the market works, how to manage money wisely. This is why even highly educated people often struggle financially, because education doesn't guarantee financial intelligence. Rich Dad once told Robert, "Most people earn money only so they can spend it, but the wealthy invest first and buy luxury items only when their assets can pay for it." There is another powerful moment in the book. Robert finds an old, damaged house being sold for a very low price. Rich Dad teaches him how to analyze deals, negotiate prices, and turn small real estate opportunities into monthly income. This becomes a turning point in Robert's life. He realized that money doesn't grow with hard work alone. Money grows when it is invested wisely. The book also explains a harsh truth. Most people stay poor not because they lack talent, but because they are afraid. Afraid of losing money, afraid of taking risks, afraid of people's opinions. Rich Dad said, "Fear and greed control people. You must learn to control them." Notice how people behave. When salary comes, people get excited and rush to spend it. But when a loss happens, they panic. Rich people don't take emotional decisions. They take calculated, logical decisions. By the end of his learning journey, Robert clearly understood whose thinking he should follow. Poor Dad taught him discipline and education, which are important, but Rich Dad taught him how to be financially free, which is life-changing. Today, Robert Kiyosaki owns businesses, real estate, investments, and assets that make money for him even while he sleeps. And all of this started with one mindset: money should work for me. The biggest message of Rich Dad Poor Dad is that financial freedom is not luck. It is a skill, and anyone can learn this skill. Whether you work a job, run a business, or study in college, anyone can start building assets. Start small, learn, invest, build something on the side, develop a skill that can turn into income, create something that gives you money even when you're not working. Every person faces one important choice in life. Will I spend my entire life running after money? Or will I learn to make money run after me? The choice is yours. The mindset is yours. And the first step is also yours. If you haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad yet, I highly recommend reading it once. It may completely change your next 10 years, just like it changed Robert's life. If you enjoyed this script, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and comment which book summary you want next.